Recently, I was watching the popular series on Netflix Bad Boy Billionaires, and I was intrigued to look into the law of extradition that exists in India. Hi guys, मैं हूं आयुषी and welcome to Law Digest. So in today's video, what we're going to do is we are going to look at the law of extradition, what extradition actually is, and how is extradition treated in India, what is actually the law in India, and considering the popular cases of business tycoons Vijay Mallya and Nirav Modi, we will have a look what is actually the relationship with respect to extradition between India and UK. So firstly, let's have a look what extradition is exactly. So it is basically a formal diplomatic process wherein what happens, one state requests another state. So for example, in the case of Vijay Mallya or Nirav Modi, India requested UK for what? For return of custody of a fugitive criminal. So a criminal, a person who has committed an offense and is a criminal in India and is a fugitive now, India is seeking custody for such people. So in extradition, any state that is requesting for custody of a fugitive who has committed an offense that is punishable in the state where he has committed the offense. So in India, if the offense of money laundering has been committed by Vijay Mallya or by Nirav Modi, then the Indian state can request UK, the place where these people are taking refuge, to return the custody of such people, because these offenses are committed outside the jurisdiction of the country where these people have taken refuge. So, in this respect, Fugitive Economic Offenders Bill also came in India in 2018. The bill was enacted, wherein it was said that any person who has committed a fraud of more than rupees 100 crore and has fled India, in that case, that person will be termed as a fugitive economic offender, and Vijay Mallya is the first person to be termed so. Now, what is actually the basis of this extradition? The basis in India for such extradition is the Extradition Act. सो दिस इज द एक्ट जिसके अंडर एक्सट्रेडिशन सीक किया जाता है. अब इस एक्ट के अंदर ये बोला गया है कि अगर कोई ट्रीटी है बिटवीन इंडिया एंड अ फॉरेन कंट्री, देन इंडिया कैन सीक फॉर एक्सट्रेडिशन ऑफ सच पर्सन. नाउ व्हाट इफ देयर इज नो ट्रीटी? In case there is no treaty, then there can be any arrangement for extradition. So the Extradition Act also provides that if in case any treaty is not there, the countries, the states can enter into an arrangement for extradition as well. Moving forward, let's see what actually is an extradition treaty. So, as per the Indian Extradition Act, so any agreement or an arrangement that is made by India with a foreign country, that is called as extradition treaty. Now, there are some ground principles on the basis of which the extradition process works. What is it? As per the Indian Extradition Act, firstly, the offense for which the person is being extradited, that offense should be an extraditable offense. If India is seeking for extradition of a person from a foreign country, then the offense committed by that person should be such that it is extraditable as per the Indian Extradition Act. Then further, there has to be dual criminality, which means that the offense for which the person is being extradited should be punishable in both the countries, the country making the request and also the country where the refuge has been taken. Thirdly, a prima facie case must be proved. That is, there must be cogent evidence against the person for whom the extradition is being requested. Then, rule of speciality says that the person will be proceeded against, prosecuted against only that offense for which the extradition is being requested and not for any other offense. And the fifth one, that is most important and that is mostly used in order to challenge these extradition treaties, is fair trial. So, what generally the offenders do is they claim before the foreign courts that we won't get a fair trial in our domestic country. That is what exactly is happening in these two cases as well. So, all this while Vijay Mallya has been pleading before the UK courts that the prison situation in India is not so good, the prisons are not proper, hygienic, safe, and especially during the COVID times, it is not safe, and that is why his extradition was actually delayed because of COVID. His bail applications have been rejected from the trial court, from the High Court as well, and now finally it is at a stage where it is being said that he is being held up in UK and not being extradited because there is some confidential legal matter going on. Further, in the case of Nirav Modi as well, his advocates are pressing that he is not in a good mental condition, and the condition in the Indian prisons or the facility that is available there is not such, and it may happen that he there is a risk of suicide, he might commit suicide, and that is why his trial is still on. So basically, on humanitarian grounds and invoking the principles of human rights conventions, these offenders, they try to escape the extradition when it is requested. And when this request for extradition is made, in case the treaties exist, then the request is binding. And in case there are no treaties, there is a non treaty foreign state, then on the basis of assurance of reciprocity, extradition is made. Meaning thereby that in case tomorrow, for say, any citizen of UK seeks an asylum in India, has committed an offense in UK, then if UK will request for extradition, then India will also honor that request. That is basically the principle of reciprocity. Let us see what the extradition treaty between India and UK says. It says it is the duty of India as well as UK to extradite any person who is being accused or convicted of an offense which is committed within territory of one state, either before or after entering into this treaty. So when India and UK have signed this treaty, and if any person has committed an offense in one of the states before this treaty came into force or even after this treaty came into force, then in that case it is duty of both the countries to extradite the person. Now, an extradition offense is defined as what? An offense that is punishable under laws of both the states by a term of imprisonment for which the imprisonment period is at least 1 year. And it excludes offenses of a political character, but including offenses that have a fiscal character or are serious offenses like murder, causing explosion, terrorism. Now, offenses of political character are excluded from the list of extradition offenses. And this is basically the point that Nirav Modi is making, that there is a lot of political agenda involved with respect to my case, and it is an offense of political character, and therefore I should not be extradited. Now, this can be refused, extradition can be refused if the accused he satisfies to the court that the prosecution in the state will be unjust, oppressive, prejudiced, discriminatory, or offense involving capital punishment in the requesting state where no death penalty is given in the state that is making the request. Now, as I said earlier, that offenders try to make use of the humanitarian grounds. They try to bring in the human rights into picture, and that is why this extradition request can be refused if they prove that the prosecution in the country who is requesting the extradition, there they are going to face discriminatory and oppressive prosecution. In urgent cases, the person may be provisionally arrested by the requested state till his extradition request is processed, and he may be freed after expiry of 60 days in case the extradition request has not been received from the country as yet. And in case extradition is granted, then the requested state shall surrender the accused at an indicated point, or requesting state shall themselves remove the person from the other country within a period of 1 month or as specified. So it was being said that Vijay Mallya will, after his applications got rejected, bail applications got rejected, it was felt that he will be extradited within 28 days. But then recently in October, a new loophole came into being saying that there is some confidential legal matter against him due to which he cannot be extradited. So this was essentially the extradition law that is there in India. I hope this video was informative enough. Since we are a law channel, our object is to impart as much legal knowledge as we can. And if you are looking to gaining the same, then do subscribe to this channel if you are new to this channel, and press the bell icon for more such updates, for more videos and instant notifications with respect to any video that we may be coming up with.